And
so half an hour earlier than this.
So much pre-talk. Guys, seriously, we are going live. I did say we are going live. And now all of a sudden, we have to mention
half an hour earlier than this.
So much pre-talk.
Right,
guys, seriously.
Hey, you know, I mean, Alicia's a valued member of our community, and she's got a stream. And so the first thing I wanted to announce on your stream was her stream tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did it a couple seconds too early, so say it again.
Then you would have waited till the stream had started. Go on, mention it.
Yeah, so Alicia's got to stream at, I think, because I tried to ask her to confirm, 4 p.m. Mountain Time, which currently is 6 hours behind the UK and 7 hours behind
10 p.m.
CET.
10 p.m.
What's she going to talk about?
She announced it in relation to her latest video, which was this 7 deadly sins versus misfired virtues.
Okay. Well, we'll see what it goes up then.
I did offer to go on with her, and she said, "No, you're an atheist, and I don't want to upset all my Christian viewers." So
there is that.
So I said, "You need a reasonable atheist to give their perspective." She said, "No, I don't."
Whether she needs a reasonable atheist or not, why the hell would she then ask you? Shots fired!
Kaboom!
No, I think you missed because you didn't ask me. Ba-boom. I volunteered and she declined. Or I tried to volunteer. Should I be more precise?
Well, today's video here, or rather, today's hangout here will be an interesting one too. I did ask if she wanted to join, but I haven't heard from her.
No, she apparently has been a bit stressed, and she went out to do some yard work, which is stuff, and hasn't come back yet.
That's all right.
And that was like, oh, hang on, 22 minutes ago, though she hasn't been and seen my family chat I sent her.
That's all right, though. She's welcome if she wants to join, as always.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have to. No one is obligated.
But on the subject of pushing other people's content, Ludicrous Leprechaun forced me into a collaboration.
Yeah.
And go and watch it.
Give me a sec, because I did link it somewhere, if I'm not mistaken.
Because
yeah, there you have it. Link will be in the chat, so if people check it out, they can see it in the chat.
Oh, what the crap! I didn't know Ludicrous had a channel.
Yeah, he's very good and he's funny.
Subscribed.
Yeah. Ludicrous, you shouldn't have asked John, though. That was a mistake. No, it's a good video. It's a good video.
I must watch that, you silly sausage. You made it.
Yes.
We're going to talk about terrorism and media.
We're going to talk about terrorism, the media, and politics.
So we should have Ludicrous on, because he's Northern Irish.
Well, if you wanted to, welcome.
Sorry, that was a very distasteful bad joke on my part.
But just because he's Irish, he's IRA?
Look, he's a leprechaun. I'm not sure they took sides.
They're real.
Of course they are. I may be an atheist, but I have a friend who's a mythical creature. So,
Ludicrous, are you real or are you just a figment of John's imagination?
Both.
Oh, don't. I think the stream is lagging a bit.
Yeah, well, it always does. See.
Yeah, but quite a lot.
Yes, it says you have to watch out for POMO. That's people of mythical origin.
Oh, that's what it means.
Like, what's what?
POMO.
Homo lives matter.
Yes.
POMO lives matter. Well, there it is.
Though, funnily enough, no matter how much I beg, he won't give me a pot of gold.
I can somewhat understand that. I mean, before you can give someone a pot of gold, you tend to need to have.
He's a leprechaun. That's what they're famous for.
I mean, haven't you heard that even with mythical creatures, the how do you call it, the deflation of gold is real? You know, you have to be paying attention to that. I mean, they can't afford it. Reality is catching up and all that. I'm sure Modwain can hook you up with some golden pot.
Yeah.
Or me.
I can
Actually, I've just put I don't smoke, but then I thought, well, I could always eat it. Because a hash brownie can be very nice.
It has a very different working if you eat it versus smoking it.
So, Sam, is this your fourth alias?
Yep.
I forgot the password. YouTube fact.
I know, but the last time you were a funny bunny,
password, then mine wouldn't give him back my password of the other account.
Hey, on air talk, by the way.
So I might just force because of it.
My channel must not be objectionable.
no, the word is small.
Yeah,
it must not be large.
I'm well under the radar of everything and everyone. I mean, the things I say are, well, obviously true, so that's bad.
Yeah,
but
very problematic.
I'm too small to have a problem. But on the plus side, you can type my name in Google to look for me and not find me, or you'll be suggested to go look somewhere else.
Well, in YouTube, you mean?
Yeah. If you look for Modwain Aileron, you will be suggested to look for Modmain Aileron because somehow that's the same thing.
I'm visible.
Sorry?
I am completely. Oh, it might be my. You know the what's it called? Those the cookies and shit. I just searched for me. My Twitter account appears, my videos appears, my Gab appears.
Oh, they have the most large database. That's not the problem. It's not that you aren't there. It's that the chances of anyone coming across you by accident isn't so small.
Oh yeah, I'm blocked in Twitter search results. We're
all on a list. Well, I was because I left.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what got me to try to see how I'm doing on Twitter, and I'm in 100% good standing on Twitter.
Oh, you've interacted with the right sort of people.
I've been put in Twitter jail 3 times now. So I'm a bad boy.
Good enough. So I'm just simply not big enough on Twitter for anyone to notice.
You're not really on Twitter that much.
Well, that too. Come to Minds. You will find me there, and you find I'm quite active on Minds. Come on Cocoscope.
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed that you are very active on Minds.
Yeah, I try to be. I have a large presence. It doesn't mean anything, but I have about 6,000 subscribers on Minds.
Wow.
Wow.
How many of them are real?
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Who's you?
Both of you. But
said, how many are real?
I have no idea. There's a handful of people that interact with regularly. People like Lost Hopen, for example. And we have good talks. We don't always agree, but we have good talks. There's a few other ones who obviously nearly always respond to my videos. Okay, now I'm crap with names, so that's going to be difficult.
That's okay. Thingy will do.
Thingy will do. Yeah, no, that's not nice. Something like Marigold or something. Not Marigold.
They're washing up gloves.
Yeah, that's.
And the flower.
Find the names really fast once I look at the right places. Sin Cave often votes my stuff up. Verben Lady often votes and sometimes responds. And I love it when people respond. I like it so much better than just voting up. Now, I have a lot of people who vote up. That's not the point. I'm trying to find the name. Wolf Human often responds, though he often responds in the same way. As in, it's the Jews.
Mm-hmm.
Which is Mortimer upvotes and responds on average. So there are a few people there are lots of people, but there are a few people that regularly return, and I'm really enjoying the interaction with these people. Obviously, there's a name that I can't find now, and can't find it at all. Shameless wise ass. These are, by the way, all people on mine, so. I'm not going to link them, but once you've heard the name, you can check them out if you want to. Xeno Demon and Evil Gunny, by the way, for all you out there that remember Evil Gunny.
I do remember Evil Gunny, yes.
It's not
I should.
Yeah, he's, as far as I heard, Evil Gunny is dead, so this is his son or something.
I always
I'm
think
sure
about
there's plenty
Gunny.
of Gunnies, and many of them are evil, so...
I often think about Gunny's words. We should just nuke everyone.
Yes, I miss Gunny. I haven't been on mine mostly because passing away.
Caius Augustus Caesar, I think he's called.
Yeah.
Who
I haven't seen him around for a while.
Yeah, he always wants to nuke the UK, so he's carrying on that same spirit of international love.
Okay. Mary Daughter, that's the one I meant. And yeah, indeed, Anitak, it helps that people leave small comments or vote up on YouTube. But I'm doubting, to be honest, that YouTube is honest about it. I don't think it actually helps us.
Dude, I've been interacting with your YouTube videos a lot more lately.
Yeah, and I like that. I even have a Dutch channel where he responds to people. I do have a Dutch channel now.
I've been most really down and out, basically, not physically, not so financially. And I've just been so depressed by all the shit that's happening. It's accelerated in these last 2 weeks.
Yep.
And I've sort of said, nope, I'm stopped. Well, it started when I stopped making videos a couple of months ago because it was just too much. Jesus.
Yeah, I know how you feel because I've also thought about quitting making YouTube videos because we're still allowed to say, like, I don't think we have a clear understanding what the rules are, especially since bigger YouTubers seem to be able to say and do whatever they want. When you look like at the Paul brothers, like, you know, how one of the Paul brothers had a corpse in their videos, but if we do the exact same thing, we'll get in trouble. So we don't really have a clear understanding what the rules are because, you know, you can look at some people and they could do it, but if you try to do the exact same thing, you'll get in trouble, but they won't. You know, it's kind of like how Shane Dawson, he could talk about conspiracy theories. However, Alex Jones lost his account for talking about conspiracy theories. We don't really know what the rules are.
The rule is don't be considered right-wing.
Yeah.
That's the only rule.
Yeah. And it's really stupid because the worst part is, if you use the video of someone else, where someone else is saying something anti-right-wing, for example, but you can interpret it broadly, so you can also say, yeah, this is anti-right-wing, but you can also say this is anti-left-wing. If you then use that clip, you will get a strike for hate speech or blah, blah, blah. Not because of copyright infringement, but because of hate speech. But the original video is still untouched.
Yeah.
Well, archaeology.
Candice Owens got banned off Twitter.
Archaeology is politically neutral. It has nothing to do. And just because I've used the Latin name for human and I'm not going to repeat it again here, but it's homo.
He means homo.
Exactly. I've been
It's
demonetized.
also it's also the Greek for same.
Exactly. And so I'm not going to quit. I'm just going to on a small hiatus to get my viewers back. I'm planning something, and it'll be a bombshell type thing, and then I'll get viewers back on my channel.
I kind of only show up here every once in a while. That's all in my YouTube experience.
Well, the point is streaming is. It doesn't take the preparation. You can say what's on your mind, and it's just easier.
Yeah, that's why I did the video with the interview about my table with Modwain, because I was like, I don't want to script all this shit. Modwain, come ask me questions.
And I want to, because I like it. Toxic, by the way, if you want to join, my dear, you are obviously more than welcome. The same goes to all of you. We have been rambling a bit, which is a good thing. I like it when we ramble. But we are going to start with our topic. And the topic is going to be the Netherlands had a terror attack on last Monday. How many of you have heard of it?
The Utrecht Turkish immigrant person killed 3 and injured 9, I think it was, correct?
It got downgraded to he injured 5.
Oh, so he didn't kill anyone.
No, he did kill 3.
Oh, so yeah, but 9 to 5 exactly, downgraded. And there I saw the coverage. An insane individual, not all. You know what I mean? He didn't represent Islam, etc. The exact old talking points that we hear since we've been hearing them since basically Charlie Hebdo.
Yeah, basically that is it.
So,
The thing is, when I heard it, because I was sleeping when it happened, because I do sleep sometimes, when it happened, and I heard about it when I got out of bed, the first thing I thought to myself, okay, so there's 2 ways people are going to look at this. This is a retaliation for Christchurch, which didn't make much sense to me, but okay, I knew people were going to look like that. Or the other possibility, people are going to say this is Islamic terrorism.
No, there's only one way. There's only one way people look at it: retardedly.
Well, the media. Let me put it like that.
No, say it retardedly because
no, it's nothing retarded. It's deliberate.
Oh, aye. But
yeah, they're still
I just thought, hey, another nut job.
But it could have been just a nut job.
Well, one would argue to do a thing like that, one by definition is a nut job.
Well, I would agree with you were it not for the religion of peace.
Exactly.
Yeah, but even then,
no, because
Dawkins, it's a mental illness.
It is.
Oh yeah, they're making it. All the mainstream media are making Islam a mental illness because every terrorist attack. Oh, the guy was insane.
No.
Allahu Akbar
Islam isn't a mental illness. The fundamentalists who think it's okay to kill people, variety of Islam, is the mental illness. You see what I'm saying?
I'm going to say I understand that the media says that, but ask any Muslim, and most of them will either say, mental illness, hashtag not all, but 25% of all Muslims worldwide will kill you for merely asking that question.
That's serious rage issues.
Well, it is, but they have to because their book demands it of them. If they are a good Muslim, this is what they are supposed to do. That's why they kill other Muslims, because they're not good Muslims. And if you're not a good Muslim, well, you need to be killed too.
Dude, I only heard about Utrecht because I follow Imam Tawhidi.
But that's the weird thing. Even in the Netherlands, we didn't hear a lot of it. The only reason in the Netherlands a lot of information came out is because we were also, at this point in time, having our provincial elections.
Oh, yeah.
And because of those provincial elections, people actually talk about it because the politicians trying to get people to vote for them, especially Wilders, basically brought it up. He started talking about it. How dared he? oh, was such a something phobe, was such an ist, because he mentioned factual happenings in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
And it's because when I first heard it, I sincerely thought it's just an idiot with a gun. And everything pointed that way until I heard what kind of idiot with a gun, because it was within an hour, they knew who done it.
He was caught on camera.
Well, yeah, that too.
You see, he wrote a letter, explained why he was doing it. Therefore, he was just mad. And it was nothing to do with religion. Honestly.
No, he wrote a letter explaining what he was doing, but they didn't find their motive.
No, because doing
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like
exactly. Yeah.
If he admits a motive, he hasn't got one. Whereas if a person just does something, then they're free to know for sure why he did it.
The Utrecht dude also had a letter?
I posted a link about something that was posted today. When you feel that it's okay to bring it up, you do that. It's not, you don't have to do it now. When you get the context correct, I posted a Twitter small video. So that Tawidi posted just today about something. But you know, when you feel it's okay to put it public, it's up to you. Just giving a little context here.
But it's even worse. Why is it worse? Okay, everyone remembers Christchurch, right?
Sure.
Okay. How many of you know that Erdogan basically threatened New Zealanders not to come to Turkey?
And Australians.
And Australians, indeed. And Australians. So at least one of you knows.
I may be depressed and not contributing, but I do keep up.
No, I don't keep up with anything, so I don't know.
But the thing is, it's not even about keeping up, because I understand everyone is keeping up, but the media is keeping up.
And no, exactly. No one in the media said absolutely anything.
Well, do you remember there was a couple of attacks last year, I think it was, and there was like a bomb in Russia and a bomb in Paris, and the BBC took a formal decision to say nothing about the one in Paris.
Exactly. This is a plan, so we shouldn't be surprised. It is a Rosa Luxemburg-esque plan of divide and conquer. Agitate, you create a counter. You agitate, then you create a counter to that agitation, which is opposite to the agitators, which the agitators are usually communists. So the communists create the far right by default. It's happened before in 1920s and 30s. We have historical context.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, because it's kind of a lot like whenever something happens to a Muslim, it's always okay, like it's kind of like they really want to view all white people as racist, all white people as sexist, all white people as Islamophobia. Like when I went on Twitter, it's kind of like, well, the problem is PewDiePie. PewDiePie is subscribed to Stefan Molyneux. PewDiePie is subscribed to Ben Shapiro. PewDiePie's content radicalizes people. And it's
exactly. I'm subscribed on YouTube to Mike Stuckbury, to Kevin Logan, to Chrissy Winters, but I am totally, honestly opposed to their ideology. I don't care about the people, because the people all humans are stupid. All of them are. We have the capacity to be the most moronic, stupid beings that have ever existed on Earth. But I don't. We have that capacity. Shit. I think you guys all know that there are two things that are infinite. I think it was Einstein. It's quoted to Einstein, but it wasn't him. Two things that are infinite: the universe and human stupidity. But he doubts the universe. Yeah. But do you see what I mean? I favor that that.
Oh yeah, it's like when people say, "Oh, I thought the stupidity couldn't get worse." And I'm thinking, why?
It can. There's always a hold my beer moment.
Always can get worse.
Yeah, there's always.
There's like a challenge in that statement as well.
Yeah, we need to stop saying it can't get any worse because it's a challenge to them. It seems.
Exactly. There's always a hold my beer moment to stupidity. You do something stupid, and there's always someone hold my beer.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and what was I talking about? I forgot. Continue.
But the thing is, if we look at what happened in Christchurch, and as bad as it is, I'm not saying woo-hey, yuppie, people killed someone, because I'm really not happy about it. But this is the second time in a relatively short time that someone did something heinous, basically predicted how the media would act.
And they did it.
And it's been proven right once again. It's almost as if they don't care that they are creating a situation where they will actually turn the Western civilizations against the rest. Amongst the rest is them. It's the Bolshevik movement all over again. It pisses me off so much.
Just remember, Modwain, it's okay to be white.
Well, yeah, it is.
And I'm pretty sure that everyone has read the manifesto, if they say they did or not. But
I'm going through it. I haven't finished it yet, but I have read a large part of it.
I don't care.
It's like, dude, the only thing you need to know about it, well, that I thought you need to know about that manifesto that nobody reports on is like, oh, hey, it says here, this is going to turn left versus right. You know what? Let's not do that. Let's just come together and condemn this shit.
Well, actually, when it comes to the media, they love pitting the left and the rights against each other. The media loves rage baits, because they get more clicks and more views when people are outraged or at each other's throats.
So that's to blame. Sorry.
I made a tweet a couple after I sort of let the Christchurch massacre pass. It was about 3 days after it happened, and my tweet basically says this, and it's true. No, it's factual. A small country, practically insignificant country, because New Zealand is practically insignificant. It doesn't have military power, it doesn't have economic power. It is a lovely, lovely place to visit, but so is the Seychelles, so is Haiti, and they are all beautiful places to visit, but they are irrelevant in terms of global geopolitics and shit. That little country basically initiated a mass censorship in the West.
It's going to be. It's already
get worse. It's going to be worse. Yeah.
There's a boy, not even a man, a boy facing 14 years in prison.
Exactly.
Sharing a fucking video.
Exactly. It's so. That's what's going to happen, and that will lead to a bloody war. And I mean bloody in the literal sense. A lot of blood will be spilt.
Take care, son.
So, mate, I'm fine with that. Honestly, I've came to the point where 1 billion people on Earth is fine. We have 6 billion too many. Well, I'm sorry if I offend anyone about saying that, but I will give up my life for that as well. So there you go.
So will I eventually.
No, so
me and my friend were joking about it. We were like, hey, any population reduction is good reduction.
But it's going to happen. We are living in the world. We are living now that the atom bombs have been invented. In World War II, there were no atom bombs, so you couldn't wipe out a lot. But now,
and then they invented it and used it straight away, twice.
So,
and the second one was literally a test.
So I'm waiting for a bloody 12-mile high meteor to slam into Earth. I don't give a shit where it hits, as long as it hits, because. Honestly,
it's not going to matter where it hits.
It'll cure climate change for sure. The ecological
engineer a new bubonic plague or something,
No.
Oh, that'll probably come as well, because I read about
Terry Gilliam made 12 monkeys. We've already been there.
I've been, I've read enough about the Gaia hypothesis, because it's not a theory; it's a hypothesis. Where the Earth is a living, the Earth itself is a living organism and shit and balance itself. It has a little bit of collective truth to it. Truth is not facts, by the way. The truth is only fact in mathematics. That's so you guys know.
Well, we have the Jordan Peterson, Sam Harris debate on truth,
but it's philosophical. I consider philosophy.
Well, no,
bullshit
the whole point was that there were the two different interpretations of truth. I'm pretty much exactly with the Sam Harris view, and other people with Jordan Peterson, and there isn't a lot of compatibility.
Send me the DM me the link. I haven't seen that one.
It's the worst 2-hour live stream you've ever heard.
I don't care. Well, those two, I like them.
It was a very famous encounter because they were going to discuss something, and they've had the whole thing arguing over what is truth.
No, but they had 4 sort of quote unquote arguments, and apparently only on the last one did Sam Neill sort of gotcha to Jordan Peterson. I've read that. I haven't seen all of their lectures because I want to get them because they're fucking awesome. I know that.
Back to the topic, though.
Back to the topic. So yeah, we see.
I'm going to ask a few questions. The first ask about how many people heard about Amsterdam. How many people heard about the fact that the person in Christchurch already said they're going to abuse this? How many people heard about the fact that the shooter in the Netherlands, who was Turkish, by the way, had a huge rap sheet?
I did, yep. He was known. It was
Carlos, who's heard everything, and me, who's heard nothing.
Oh no, I haven't heard anything. I happened to read that. I even tweeted about that because it came so close to the Christchurch, and I was I didn't participate in. I even did not tweet or anything for about 3 days because I was just fuck this shit. All the same bloody things going to happen. Whatever Charlie Hebdo, that crap that started, and they did the same shit.
But here's the worst part. This guy was in jail because of a bunch of crimes, amongst which rape and attempted murder. But they let him go on the 1st of March to give him a chance to, drug dealing. And they let him go on the 1st of March to give him a chance to rehabilitate himself a little bit before the next court date, because he already had a few things still open. And within those 2 weeks, he's been arrested for theft and something else. I forgot that something else. I'm sorry.
I knew
he had a rap.
Is the Muslim with a huge rap sheet? Is he Muslim with a huge rap sheet?
Yep, he's a Turkish Muslim with a huge rap sheet.
I am beginning to empathize with how Chinese people deal with Muslims.
Yeah,
that sounds bad, but still, I'm beginning to see why Chinese people handle Muslims a certain way, because you don't really hear about this type of problems happening in China.
Well, have you heard of the Rohingya ring?
They're the Chinese.
No. Have you heard of the Rohingya?
The Burmese. Yeah, the Burmese.
Okay. So it's all in the news about how they're undergoing a genocide. They're being so badly treated.
Yeah. They killed half a village last month. Something?
No. Before this started, I saw a video on the terrorism of the Rohingya against the rest of the population.
Yeah, I made a video about.
And of course, and they just did it as a thing. And of course, the media are all like, "Oh, the poor Rohingya. Why are the police being so brutal?" Well, if you looked into the history of what the Rohingya were doing to the peaceful natives before anything else happened, you will understand why everyone hates them.
It's kind of funny, but if we look this year, we have a massive 200, let's say 300, because let's round it up. We've got 300 victims of a white man killing Muslims. We are over the thousand number, over the several thousand number in this year alone of Muslims killing Christians.
Yeah, well,
what are you talking about Muslims killing Muslims?
It's only the same as happened in Britain when they had that one guy drive all the way from Swansea on his own, committed an attack, and everyone lost their shit. And it was all about far-right groups and this, that, the other. And yet the preceding 3 much worse terrorist attacks by Muslims were all, oh no, you can't blame all Muslims. Oh no, it's not the religion's fault. Oh no, there's no organization.
Yeah, it's like the double standard is really, really annoying because it's kind of like when it comes to Muslims, they make all sorts of excuses for them, like they bend over backwards to, I don't know, find some sort of excuse for Muslim, no matter how ridiculous the excuse they come for this. But it's kind of like, as soon as something gets against, I would view PewDiePie as a centrist, but as soon as something is done by a white man, it's like, see, PewDiePie radicalizes people. See, I told you, if you watch PewDiePie, you're going to be like, turn into far right, when really, he mostly talks about video games. He mostly does comedy.
Well, I'm going to tell you guys something else.
Just before you go on, just want to add that do you guys know that today there was an African migrant who tried to kidnapped 51 Italian in the school bus, kids, and he set the bus alight.
I had not known that. I didn't hear that one yet.
Well, it's
you probably won't.
Yeah, he tried to burn alive. This is Scott Greer. I'm watching Twitter. And an African migrant tried to burn alive 51 Italian kids in a school bus today to demand open borders.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But in Italy, what does he want open borders for?
Well, I don't know.
No, but he's already there. So why does he want open borders? It's
because he wants to go to Germany.
He's in the EU and he's in Schengen, therefore he can already go.
No, they can't because they're in camps.
Because they are in Italy, and Germany and Austria, for example, are very strong about how the borders should be open, but they close the borders with Italy themselves because of the amount of immigrants coming out of those countries.
Yeah, well, that's bloody hypocritical, the Germans, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Are you surprised?
At this point in history, I'm not surprised by anything.
Anyway, I'm going to go back to the topic because remember the Christchurch incidents? This is basically the Turkish President Erdogan, and he warns of a new Gallipoli in the wake of Christchurch terror attack. And
so they're going to set up machine gun posts on the beach?
Well, probably.
And hope that everyone tries to enter Turkey that way.
I've been trying to. I've been hashtagging kick Turkey out of NATO for a while now.
Yeah, well, and, I'm there now too. I've never been there, but I'm there now too. Turkey is
well, technically, Turkey's value was its proximity to Russia, but now Russia isn't really a threat. You would think it's not so necessary.
So we should kick Turkey out of. I honestly want to kick Turkey out of NATO.
Russia is a bigger friend to Europe than Turkey.
It is, yes,
and yeah, but it never really was a threat.
Russia's only the scapegoat for when parties lose elections. That's it.
Russia was always a bogeyman, even during the Cold War. Russia had a beef with the Americans, but it never had a beef with the rest of Europe. It just wanted to be left alone.
It's so stupid because they always say like, Russia interfering. Like, dude, everybody interferes with everyone's policies.
Exactly. America bugs every was it German embassies and German?
Yeah, indeed, that was funny.
Yeah, oddly, that doesn't get mentioned.
It was mentioned, but people forgot
No,
about it.
no, but you know what I mean. It's like now when there's all this Russian interference, and it's and America has its own history, and I'm sure the British are just as bad.
I read this story that you just put on Modwain, and I saw the reactions by the Australians and the New Zealand governments, and Jesus Christ, they if they didn't lay down, open their assholes and said, Erdogan, fuck me, please.
But now the funny part. Because Erdogan responds to this because Bengali Muslims get attacked in New Zealand because they weren't Turkish Muslims. They were Muslims from Bangladesh. Most of them anyway. In the Netherlands, a 19-year-old girl got killed. A 19-year-old, 27, 47. Those three got killed by a Turkish drug dealer. Should we now say, okay, let's close the borders for Turks, and whenever a Turk does something wrong, all the Turks will return in body bags?
Yes.
By his logic. No,
let's not.
But as Erdogan just wants to be like Kamal. No, not even Kamal Atatürk, because Kamal Atatürk was an atheist.
Good guy.
And a good guy.
He wants to bring back the Ottoman Empire.
He wants to bring back the Ottoman Empire.
Exactly. He thinks he's a Suleiman the Great, or what's the other?
He is the sort of politicians that Atatürk warned against. This is why the Turkish army, for the longest time, overthrew dictators like this. And trust me, this is a dictator.
Except you remember that stream we had together, Modwain, where I sort of just happened after that quote unquote coup d'etat in Turkey.
Yeah.
You were there. I know you were. He planned that so he could purge the military of people that opposed him.
Well, it makes sense.
And the double standards between what the West did between any white man killing other people and other people killing white people is totally consistent with what he's doing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree. And this is probably what is going to attract people to the far right, is because it's kind of like, if a Muslim does something to white people, it's like they defend Muslims, but if white people do something to Muslims, they defend Muslims. No matter what happens, they are going to defend Muslims no matter what they do.
Yeah, and I think it's time that we in the West we start pushing back to the postmodernist bullshit. Because now, in the Netherlands, we still have politicians who are willing to say, well, yeah, but Islam is not a problem. And the worst part is, no one is saying Islam is a problem. Islam is. But the real problem that we're seeing in the Netherlands, that we're seeing in New Zealand, that we're seeing in the UK, in France, Germany, Sweden, the real problem is not that Islam is the problem. The real problem is that our politicians are the problem, because they are refusing to stand up. What
I do find interesting is like, okay, we all know about the progressive stack, where, it's like these people are oppressed, like Black people are oppressed, gay people are oppressed and whatnot. Yeah. It does seem like because of the progressive stack, the left is eating their own, but through their own philosophy. And this is what I mean. I'm going to give you a few instances. One instance would be like, I think it's a school in Birmingham, England, where they teach LGBT issues to little kids, and the Muslims didn't like it. So the Muslims, told the school to stop having these LGBT courses, and then the school stopped teaching LGBT courses indefinitely because of Muslim outrage. And here is a different instance. Another instance would be Elon Omar versus, Jewish lobbyist groups, where, it's like Elon Omar, she said things, they struck people as anti-Semitic, and then you have Jewish lobbyist groups speaking, out against it. And so it's kind of like you have cries of anti-Semitism, and then you have some people like, well, are you being Islamophobia? So it's like you're seeing the left eating their own, but do their own progressive stack philosophy, because it's kind of like, and I discussed this with Base Mama before, like what would happen if Black people and Muslims were to get into a conflict where, you just see like Blacks and Muslims just in an outs and outs conflict. I think that the progressives would side with, the Muslims over Black people, and it would just cause the left to eat itself and do their own philosophy, because it's kind of a lot like they put all non-white people into a group. That's what they call non-white people, people of color. Like they divide people between.
I've got a colour. It's pasty, but it's a colour.
Yeah, divide people between white people and colored, as if all Black and brown people get along with each other. When really, I've heard like in California there would be like Mexicans attacking Black people, but that seems to just get completely ignored. I just think that they would be screwed over by their own philosophy.
And the worst part is that we are marching headstrong into the fire.
I've been saying this a long time now, that it's all a coordinated effect from bankers and plutocrats to create a neo-feudalistic society again. And it's easily done. People will welcome it in. All they have to do is create insecurity in the society where people feel unsafe. People will demand the government make them safe. The government will say, okay, you have to give up your freedoms. We saw that after 9/11.
Well, feminists have been doing that for decades.
Yeah, well, we saw the most push forward after 9/11, where before you could just hop on an airplane, put your bags in the X-ray thing, and walk in. Now you fucking have to be fondled and get a prostate exam, basically.
Sorry. Well, I could do with one.
I've had one, so it's
back in
got to look on the bright side.
A prostate exam is not gay, like a trap. Trap's not gay either.
No. Come on. Women have to do that gynecological checks every now and again.
Exactly.
Men should have to accept their prostates being fondled.
Oh man, it's so exciting. Ooh.
I don't know about exciting, mate. I really don't know about that. But as a medical necessity,
joking. I'm exaggerating. You know what I mean. But yeah. So it's basically you guys should read a lot up more on Rosa Luxemburg.
Yeah.
Oh, she was a bloody nut job.
She wasn't.
No, she was, insofar as very far out there.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, but she's what is basically inspiring a lot of today's movements, especially the ones to the Marxist spectrum.
Well, you see, here's the thing, okay? So when I was at uni, and I'm talking the early 1980s, there was the Spartacus group, and they were really really extreme. And all the other leftists hated them.
Extreme to which side? To the Marxism?
Well, they were potty. But it wasn't too Marxism. This is what I keep trying to say to people. Marxism isn't a monolith. There were plenty of Trotskyists who hate communism. Because Trotskyism and communism may both be Marxist, but they hate each other.
Different flavors of vanilla, exactly.
No, they're not different flavors of vanilla. They're more different than they're the same. This is the problem.
It's just by the method they use. But
No,
it's
it's
the
no,
same-
yeah. You can't conflate all the different ways things can be different. Okay. So
you have Mao, you have Stalin, you have Pol Pot.
yes,
you
and
have-
they're all
you have,
communists.
You have Mao Tse, the Vietnamese one. What's his name? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
they're all communists.
But for example, Pol Pot and Mao followed a lot of Trotsky.
Yeah.
While the Vietnamese leader Ho Chi Minh, that's his name, Ho Chi Minh and Stalin and Enver Hoxha and Tito, they followed more the Lenin doctrine.
Yeah. But my point is this: is at
They-
the time,
yes, but they are
at the
still-
time of the 80s, right? Do you remember Solidarność in Poland,
Yes, I do. Yes,
who were anti-government,
yes,
and all the left in Britain supported Solidarity, not
yes.
the communist regime.
Because I know that I was
Yeah.
like
So,
you,
but the
we
point
were
is
there,
this:
we were
that
there. Yeah.
was then. You would not be able to say the same now.
Obviously not.
Now, this is what I'm trying to say is like some things can share a name but not share a fundamental identity.
But solidarity was not Marxist or even communist or socialist.
No, exactly. And yet the left wing in Britain at the time supported them against the communists. And this is my point.
Because in the West we were honestly
At that time,
what
what was the
basically-
left is different from it is now. Fundamentally and radically different.
No, it was the indoctrination of the media that made us look. Communism is bad, but look at this little group. They weren't communists. Solidarity was even though they were a trade union, they were not either Marxist or.
Yeah, I know. What's your point? I wasn't saying they were not. I was saying the British left supported Solidarity.
Exactly, but the British Labour, the British trade unions, the British Labour Party, the British because in the West, the left in the 80s, 70s, 80s, even
was fundamentally different to it is
were
now.
basically centrists. They weren't left.
Exactly, and no, but it's not just that they're centrists. Even the groups who call themselves Marxists support Solidarity. And we're against communism.
No, I remember not all of them. No.
Guys, seriously.
The IRA did
I
not
need to say
support
something here,
Solidarity.
please. Guys, one sec. Because it is more nuanced than that.
It is. This is another stream, exactly.
If we look at the politicians in for example in the Netherlands, but in Europe, they were in support of Solidarność only by the time then they realized that Solidarność would actually win, because before that they downplayed it as an insignificant organization.
Exactly.
Once they realized, okay, this is going to happen, then all of a sudden they were in favor of them because it was a workers' movement. And all of a sudden, the communism in Poland wasn't real communism.
Well, it never was. And it's what no, and
Yes,
this
it
is my point.
was. Yes, it was.
No. And
Yes.
this is the point because anti-communism in the mainstream labour movement in the United Kingdom was decades before that.
Communism was implanted in all those places. We know, and so the communists of today say, "No, that wasn't real communism." Yes, it was.
No, the communists of today do because they don't know the history.
And the communists of then were the same.
Rubbish! I was there, and you're talking rubbish.
You were in Poland?
No, I'm talking about in Britain. We're talking about
Britain was never a communist. Jesus.
Yeah,
no.
yes, I know, but sorry, we're talking.
Let's change. We will have this talk privately as friends.
I'm just saying that
Without
what is called a name
I know,
can
but
change
John,
radically.
John,
over time.
We will have a nice private, over a couple of beers, we will be extra friend. We love each other. I know as friends, we love each other. I love you, man, as a friend. So we will have that conversation. I want to have a conversation with another friend that I have, and I will try to organize it soon on some other things. But yes, we'll have that conversation, and we will we will. Joz, sorry for interrupting 1 second. I'm going to leave in a bit, in about 5 minutes. So you will have all the time to talk, my friend, my friend. Yes. But we will talk about it, John. Conversation. We'll have a beer each over time. So anyway,
long distance boozer.
Exactly. I've stocked up, so we were. Anyway, let's get back onto track. Modwain, please continue.
So what we are seeing now in the Western world in general, but in the Netherlands in this case, because of this was about what happened in the Netherlands, and yeah, we're off topic a lot. What we are seeing is that once again, reality has to shift for the narrative. It's not Muslims, it's not Turks, it's just one idiot. And you know what? Partly, I'm agreeing with that. So I'm going to ask every single one of you to think about the next thing I'm going to say. In the Netherlands, as in most of Western Europe, we believe that the state owns a monopoly on violence. And for that monopoly, it protects its citizens. But for the longest time, it's already shown to be unable to protect its citizens.
It's not willing, I would argue.
Well,
a monopoly on violence.
I'm agreeing with you that they might not be willing, but that doesn't change the fact that they do have a monopoly on violence. You, as a citizen, are not allowed to use violence, not even in self-defense.
Since when?
Yeah, and this is what annoys me about the left, because the left, they want to be like, the Netherlands, like the left, they want to get rid of all of our guns. And they're like, well, only the racist police should have guns, which is like, really weird, because they'll go on and say the police are racist, the police love going around killing black people, the police are the most racist group in the whole world. You have all of these Klan members as the police. But then they will also argue that the American police should have a monopoly on violence. The police should have all the guns, which I just think is so bizarre.
So I think we should share the violence instead of the state owning the violence alone.
Well, personally, I'm like, maybe it is time for the Netherlands to do what Hungary is doing as well. And that is lawful citizens, law-abiding citizens, should once again have the right to own a firearm.
But I thought we had the right to self-defense. Like somebody attacks you and you beat the shit out of them, you can't
No, you can still, no, you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, in the UK, the crime.
I thought we had that right as well.
No, not really.
Since when?
In the Netherlands, you're not allowed to defend yourself.
No, in Britain, you're not.
You're not allowed to harm the other.
The West, the Europe, you can't do that.
Because I grew up.
I can't remember it ever having been different. And let me show you this by an example. My brother worked in a snack bar when he was a kid.
Aloha.
And no, not that kind of snack bar. And they got mugged. Himself. Went to jail in his trial because he defended himself. Now, eventually he got acquitted because he did defend himself, but nonetheless he was in jail for several months awaiting his trial.
Well, there was that guy in Britain last year. What was he, 70 or something? And they invaded his home and they attacked him with a screwdriver. He turned the screwdriver on them, and then he's suddenly the bad guy.
And this doesn't make any sense to me, because I believe that it is a person's fundamental right to protect themselves. I mean, if somebody is at your home trying to kill you, you should be allowed to defend yourself.
No. So you have the right to run away, cower in the corner, and hide.
Under a dictatorship, no, you cannot do that.
That's so weird
Violence
because
not
I was
allowed.
brought
You
up
got
with
all
this.
the other options.
The Portugal had a dictatorship from 1926 to 1974, and you could not defend yourself. And it was a right-wing dictatorship, a fascist dictatorship.
Well, right, left, it's all up.
Yes, they are. But they are exactly. Yes, absolutely, John, absolutely. No argument there. They are the same.
I'm getting a bit fed up of this right-left differentiation
Yeah,
because
well, I'm not even using that, to be honest, because I agree with you. It's nonsense.
But
So,
that's
Modwain,
so weird,
let me
though,
see if I understand here.
That's so weird, though, because I always grew up thinking that we had, if somebody was after you, you could defend yourself and not get in trouble for it. So that's why it's so weird to me.
Well,
Yeah.
there's the tricks, Marcus. You have the right to defend yourself. You do not have the right to cause harmful violence. So if you push the person and run, you're on your right. If you push the person, kick them, now you're going to jail for defending.
No, Just. It's even worse. If
It's
you
even worse.
person, it's even worse. If you push the person falls and breaks a limb, you have committed an act of violence. You haven't defended yourself. You have committed an act of violence.
God forbid he hits his fucking head on the curb and dies.
Yep, that's manslaughter.
That's second degree, right?
Well, I was listening to a tale of there's this woman in America, and she was really abusing her husband really badly. And they were in a high-story room, and he realized it was too dangerous to jump off the balcony. He walked past her, brushed her, and he ended up in jail for 18 months for assault because he brushed against her.
So yeah, there is a vast discrepancy between what is acceptable and what is normal and allowed in this country. And not just in this country. This is in the UK, this is in Germany, this is in Sweden, this is in France, this is in Belgium. I really think it is time that in the Western world, we will start, in the European Western world, obviously, because America already has this, we really return to allow the citizens to defend themselves.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course, it's going to cause some more violence in the beginning, obviously, because people will not take shit any longer.
Well, no, the problem's worse than that. Because you have all the people who will simultaneously say, "Where's the violence? We're allowed to beat him because he's a Nazi."
Yeah, kind of taking it a little too far. But then again, push the guy, punch the guy. That's some kind of self-defense. The guy came to attack you. You defended yourself. That's okay. I don't mean, the guy comes attacking you, self-defense yourself by throwing him in front of a moving bus.
Only if there's a bus around.
So self-defense is self-defense, in my opinion.
Yeah, but this is the problem, because if you have a confrontation where there's no witness and there's only one survivor.
I mean, yeah, the self-defense is. I see it like the Krav Maga way, maybe. Like self-defense means incapacitating the other guy before he can hurt you more.
Well, they call it reasonable force, don't they? So it's like you're allowed to defend yourself, but only to the minimum necessary for your protection.
But the thing is,
if a guy comes after you with a knife and you throw a knife in his shoulder, that's reasonable violence, or what?
That is violence. You're not allowed to do that.
No, but I'm saying in John's example, would that be reasonable?
Well, no, because in this country, if you're the wrong person, they've decided it's a bad person, doesn't matter what you do. And if you're the right person, it doesn't matter what you do. And it's the same, especially with domestic violence situations. A woman can do literally anything.
Oh, yeah.
And a man can do literally nothing.
No. Well, women depends on the women, because that journalist, commentator, what's her name? I'm trying to find out her name. Let's see. I found the stream I was in. Caroline Farrow. She was on Good Morning Britain or some program in the morning where she argued something, and then she was on a Twitter tiff with a radical feminist who's
you're talking about the transsexual woman
whose son was brainwashed into infertility and transgendered.
Yeah.
The youngest person ever in the UK, 16 years old. That's pure, to me, that is pure child abuse. She was that woman.
She had all ramifications.
Accused Caroline Farrow, reported Caroline Farrow to the cops because Caroline Farrow misgendered her son, who is now a daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
terrifying.
That is not having a constitution.
Your example is good, but it doesn't counter my example, which was specifically.
No, it's not. It's not countering. It's reinforcing your argument. I've been listening. It's reinforcing your argument.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. No. You are correct. I'm giving you another example. I'm giving you data to reinforce your point.
The problem is that the rule of law is so capricious right now.
Exactly.
You don't know
what's capricious.
Sorry.
What's capricious?
It's so
bad
inconsistent. It's like
bad faith.
So it's like you don't know how to behave because the same behavior can be bad or good.
Yeah.
And you don't know how you go. You know, it's like they even have all these now laws and policies of hate crimes, which are entirely the subjective opinion of someone making a complaint.
Yeah.
You don't even have to have done anything. No proof is necessary. They can simply assert to you a motive. And say, you were being hated, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
My dear friends, I am going to leave you guys. It's been
sorry, mate.
No, I'm sorry to interrupt you, John.
No, fine, you said.
I'm going to bed tomorrow. I work, and my heart is with all of you.
Well, take care of it, because I might be.
No. I promise we will have a nice conversation.
No, I say you said your heart was with us, and I'm thinking, I'd be careful, mate, because I might be a bit sloppy with it.
Well, as long as you keep it beating, I'm fine.
No, that's what I'm saying. I might be a bit neglectful.
Take care of yourself, mate.
My love to all of you guys, and continue, please.
Yeah, it was fun to have you again, mate. It's been too long.
I added a few tweets because I've been looking at Twitter and that. Use them as you wish. They're sort of consistent with what we are talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, guys, love you all. Bye-bye.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
But yeah, so my humble opinion is this, because we're not going back to the rule of laws. I've been saying that for more than a year now, and it's simply not happening, because there is one rule for thee, and one rule for me, and that already is a problem. So I really think that, in combination with the fact that the state can't protect its citizens, that we really should, that we really should look into it in Europe to bring back the right to own guns on a larger scale.
Or at least the right to self-defense.
Well, definitely. And those two things are combined. I mean, it's fun to have the right to defend yourself, but if you haven't got the means to defend yourself, then that right means nothing anyway. But at this point in time, you don't even have the right to defend yourself.
Yeah, that's already bad enough. You should at least have the right to defend. So I'm not quite sure I'm in favor of the guns, but defense, yes.
Well, guns is probably the best way to do it, to be honest.
Yes, exactly. Like for example, how is a little old lady living by herself going to defend herself against a big, huge man? I mean, the best way for a little old lady to do. To defend herself, living by herself against a dirty old man is through a gun.
German Shepherd, taser in the nuts. There's plenty of options. Train rats.
The gun is the best option.
It's
Not really. I'm sorry to say, but as much training as I have, and I don't recommend guns for civilians. And civilians don't like to be trained. They believe they already know how to use the damn thing.
Do that.
Time.
But that's something else. I'm not saying you should give a gun to everyone. I don't mind if you say, okay, you'll have the right to have a gun, but you need to have training, trigger protocols, where to point it.
Guns, just basic gun safety, really.
Yeah. Listen,
yeah, your basic gun safety. Like it's one of the protocols. I can't recall exactly right now if it's mandatory before you get a gun to get a safety training with guns, but you have to have it. I just don't know if it's mandatory to actually go there and have it instead of somebody saying, "Oh yeah, he was here."
well, we can say that in for example, Europe, we can say that, okay, we're going to open the option of gun again, but you're only allowed to have a gun if you have. If you are fully trained with it, I'm 100% okay with that.
We have really tight restrictions in the Netherlands on guns. So.
Yeah, and the problem with that is that it's impossible to do what needs to be done.
Yeah, true.
And there is a large failure in that.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm in favor of a person's right to defend himself, and I mean, you got to defend yourself, and I do think that the gun is the best way.
I still disagree. There are much better ways to defend yourself than a gun.
I mean, you also could. I mean, there's this good points that lots of feminists made. I mean, it's like if not like why do the army use guns? The reason why the U.S. Army use guns is because the gun is the best way to defend yourself against an enemy attack.
No. It's on offensive weapon. You mustn't omit that.
I mean, they come and ask me about guns, and that's going to be a big question. They're being like, okay, you have guns. How many? How many you know how to use? How many were trained to use? And so on, so on. And how far does go the question? Again, guns are not dangerous. People are.
Yeah, and I seriously, because in the Netherlands we don't have a gun culture, and for the longest time I was thinking, yeah, maybe guns are not the option. But if 1 out of 4 people in that tram that started the shooting on Monday, if 1 out of 4 people had a gun, there's a good chance the guy wouldn't have killed anyone.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true.
Someone, but not that many.
I'm sorry, I heard Rin, but I didn't hear you, mate.
I was saying, even like you said, 1 in 4 person had a gun. He wouldn't have shot anybody. He would have. He would have shot some people. He might have not shot that many. Some of these perpetrators, when they decide to pull a gun, they already have in mind they're going to shoot someone. It doesn't matter who. They're not looking for a target. They're just looking for
the guy in the Netherlands actually wasn't he?
But
the things that I heard about it.
I didn't. Yeah. I'm sorry, Crusader. I didn't even know that there was another shooting today.
What? Where?
In
Rotterdam, he said.
Where?
Rotterdam.
People get killed in Rotterdam all the fucking time. Man.
Yeah, but not with shootings. It's like England, London. Yeah, people get killed by knives all the time. Yeah, but when it happens with a shooting, that's...
Yeah, but murder's murder. I'm not entirely understanding why one particular method matters more than another particular method.
I agree.
I totally my gun memes.
So,
Art feminist. Yeah, that'll go really well.
I was, I can't remember what it was. I was watching this video and I was like thinking, I've always been so vehemently against the death penalty. But for these idiots, I think they were feminists, I would bring it back. Just because they are so vile.
Well, it's like they do in Texas. You know, Texas has the death penalty. Other states are trying to abolish it. Texas is trying to put in an express lane to get it go faster.
Yeah, but here's a problem. You cannot trust the justice system to be even remotely accurate in who it convicts and who it doesn't.
Maybe I should go live in Texas after all.
The problem isn't with the concept of the death penalty. The problem is with the application of it in practice.
Actually, this is also a problem with like listen and believe. Like if a woman says something, you must automatically believe it and like just let the man go to jail. It's not like a fair system because you're guilty before proven innocence. And I mean, like I heard, I don't know how true it is, but I heard that if a man is accused of pedophilia, that people would just take the woman's word for it. I don't know how true it is. But
pedophilia would not be a child. Sorry.
Yeah, pedophilia. But it's like I heard that if the wife accuses her husband of pedophilia, the judge would just take her word for it.
Nothing to do with the divorce and her angling for sole parenting custody.
And if the prison populace finds out, you're as good as dead.
That's why we go visit them and tell the jail people. But I came to visit him. He's a pedophile.
No, you might not want to say that you were visiting there for him because you might sound sympathetic.
Yeah, I'll be the one smuggling weapons into the jail. Hey, I got you guys some gift for my friend over there. He's a nice pedophile. He takes really good care of the kids.
I can't find the shooting Crusader. Can you send me a link on that shooting? I did find, however, a different article on something interesting. Today, as in this day in the year 2019, the police in Breda intercepted a transport of 300 kilos of coke and 5 guns. Not just guns, Kalashnikovs. Fully operational with ammunition.
Full auto?
How do they get those?
Full auto. It's a Kalashnikov.
I know what they are. I'm just trying to figure out where the hell they got their hands on that.
Well, they make them everywhere, don't they? Because they're really easy to make, which is why they're so popular.
One thing about the Kalashnikov, they don't break and they're easy to make. You can shoot them underwater.
Because that was the whole point.
They're not very accurate, obviously, but still.
You can shoot 90% of the guns underwater. It's just the distance that's the difference.
No. An M16 underwater will jam on you.
Yeah, it depends.
Water.
I shot an M16 underwater. It didn't jam. I ran out of bullets.
Really? Well.
Let's just say why.
Because my target was on a boat.
Okay.
It was easy to get closer to him if I was underwater instead of running top.
Okay.
Oh, you can run underwater. Now that's amazing.
But surely if you were doing that, why use an M16? Why not something more specialized?
Yeah, smaller.
Well, let's say that they didn't want it to look like an accident.
Shot from in the water.
Well, you ever see what's left over after an M16 shot?
You can't be safer because even the fish have guns in America.
Hey.
Yeah, I can't find the article about. I'll look again, but I can't find it. For fuck's sake. That's another thing. I mean, a lot of information is. I'm not going to say it's being blocked, but they try everything they can to make sure that it's not easily found.
Just don't use Google.
Doesn't matter which one you use.
It does actually. You get very different results.
Yeah,
Even
that's
regular
true. Like,
search,
that's true. We had this conversation before, Modwain. Like, there are search engines that are better than Google, like Yahoo, Bing, and AOL, because it's kind of like
AOL.
Google is more. Yeah, Google is more progressive because it's like I would search terms like jihad and whatnot. And it's kind of like if I were to search jihad in like Google search engine, it's like it would be more progressive. However, when I use the Yahoo, Bing, and AOL, Jihad Watch would actually show up in the first page. But with Google, Jihad Watch doesn't show up on the first page.
I linked it in the chat.
Huh? What did you say?
Oh, I linked the thing in chat.
Yeah, I found it too, I think. Yeah, I did.
Deceased after shooting in Rotterdam.
So
we had a person being shot yesterday late, and he died. We don't know anything other than the fact there was lots of shouting. They don't know what was being shouted, and he was killed. No information other than that.
Yep.
So we had an happy
A
ending.
bunch of bullet casings.
A bunch of bullet casings, yeah. So it's not sure if it's criminal or Islamic or just an idiot with a gun.
Rotterdam.
Yeah, definitely that last one.
Not criminal, honestly.
I was thinking the same
criminal.
thing. Maybe just an idiot with a gun.
I'm sorry, John. What did you?
I was just saying, it being Rotterdam, you would suspect criminal activity.
Yeah, well.
Even I know that.
Yeah, isn't Rotterdam like the murder capital of the Netherlands?
Yeah.
Considering the time and the location, I'm not thinking about terrorism either, to be honest.
You know, I mean, a little thing to do with lots of organised crimes and the docks and, you know, turf wars.
Well, I can believe that you don't see it on Google. I've been looking for it internationally as well. I've been looking it for the Netherlands. Maybe it hasn't been picked up by international media yet because the article I found is only 40 minutes old.
Well, the media, unfortunately, has an agenda.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, 5 Muslims get killed by a white person. Yeah, you know it's going to be all over the news. 100 Christians getting killed by Muslims.
Nothing.
Nothing.
No, I mean, I've heard stories, and you know, from people like V, and then I've gone on to British media and searched and searched and searched and come up with nothing.
Yeah.
No, I wanted to say something about the whole journalism thing as well. Is it like, I know we're not all like that involved with the general populace isn't really involved with how media operates and stuff, but like if they were, we should like demand the facts, yeah, independent fucking reporting and shit. Isn't that like our responsibility?
No, because it's a market. It's a market, and markets don't work rationally. They work, you know, by whatever sells papers, which is why the clickbaity stories have come to dominate.
Yeah,
outrage sells.
Rage sells like rage baits. You know, they do a lot of rage baiting because they know that if they piss people off, they circular rates more because it's like people will buy it just to be pissed. Like even the people who are against it, like even YouTubers who are against it, people will still look at the clickbaity titles and talk about it because, you know, they're angry, when really it's like they could have a more truthful article, in a more realistic article, but stats is going to be pushed down because nobody's going to talk about it. People are going to ignore, you know, when journalists do the right thing. You know, but if they piss people off, there are going to be people who believe it, who are going to share it everywhere. But there are going to be people who don't believe it and who are angry that the journalists do it, who are also going to share it everywhere.
Yeah. But like, I guess it's a theoretical then. Could we, as the people,
Well, we are the people. We are just individuals.
That we can demand them to just do news, not opinions, no rage bait shit. Could we demand that from the media?
No, but who's we? We aren't an organization.
Whatever.
No, we aren't an organization.
It's just a fucking hypothetical. Answer the damn question.
No, I am. We aren't an organization. There is no body to do the thing you're asking about.
There is no we. That's the problem.
Yeah, but hypothetically, if there was a we, could we demand that from media?
Of course, but there isn't a we, so it's the wrong question.
Well, then that fucking answers my question, doesn't it?
But it's the wrong question. The question is, how could we get a we?
Even if there is a we cannot demand it because of freedom of speech. If freedom of speech goes for everyone,
that is true.
It goes for them.
And the market, you know, at the end of the day, any organization can set up a news arm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, okay.
People love being outraged. People love being angry. People love, unfortunately, people love being outraged, which is why the media keeps deliberately trying to piss people off.
Yeah, well, people like to feel superior. They like a sense of worth that comes from the cheapest of sources, which is a sense of moral superiority.
I know since Modwain's last video on his Dutch channel, I was thinking about that question, and I figured I might as well throw it in here. Also because, of course, I don't think about every freaking avenue of the question, so I did not even consider the whole free speech issue. Or not issue, but yeah.
No, I mean the problem is one of the things I've thought about for decades is this whole problem of, you know, people talk about we, and in very few instances is there a we. There isn't a uniformity of opinion. So it's like people will say, "Oh yeah, why don't we do this?" Well, who exactly?
Yeah, exactly. Who's we? Exactly. Like, even though I like Modwain, and you know, he brings somewhat similar people together, we still there is still diversity of opinions in here, and it's like none of us are intersectional feminists, none of us are socialists or communists, I think. But even though we're all somewhat vaguely similar, there's still a strong diversity of opinion.
Maybe not social, in favor of social policies.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry, I need to go AFK for a sec.
That's okay.
Bye, Rob. But you keep it going, I'll be right back.
Yeah, so sometimes, you know, I don't say a lot, but sometimes I just ask questions.
No, I mean, so
I can get the fundamental perspective maybe from all of you.
But our society has things that it just can't deal with.
Yeah, of course.
And you hit right into the middle of what we can't deal with.
Well, that's what I think. I think we need better sentencing to have less criminals. With less criminals, we'll have less violence. That will solve the problem.
No.
Well, it's not necessarily, because the problem is we have political movements which are now out of control based on lies of problems that don't and have probably never existed.
Well, that's what I'm saying. With better sentencing, there will be no problem.
No, because the truth is not important. The incidence of a crime isn't important. The narrative is totally devoid from reality.
And the sentencing now doesn't prevent criminals, so, you know.
Never has.
Well, I wasn't thinking just criminals. I was thinking with better sentencing, people will stop doing violence.
Nope.
Because of the side effect of the sentencing.
Nope.
What do you mean?
The penalty does not deter murder.
If we're not just talking about criminals, then how do you apply sentencing in this?
All right, let's try. Each one of you, give me a situation, and I'll give you the sentencing.
What?
Like I'm saying, we'll make better sentences.
Sentences do not deter crime.
No, yes, they do.
No, they don't. It's been proven that the death penalty does not deter murder.
You sure about that?
Yes, I am sure about that.
Okay.
It used to be in Britain, they would execute a child for stealing a loaf of bread because he was starving.
I didn't say sentencing to death. That's not a punishment.
But you with me? It's like sometimes people do things out of when we get angry or when we're desperate, we act in what might be considered an irrational way, and therefore rational considerations are not important to our decision making.
It's more out of necessity, really. If you steal a loaf of bread because you're starving.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like
if your fucking clothes are riddled with holes and you steal clothes because you're poor, that's also out of necessity.
Or you have road rage. Alicia mentioned it in a video. They have road rage. Why does anyone get so upset about what happens in driving? I do. I know I do. You know, it's like,
yeah,
I'm as bad as anybody. So it's like, I know it happens, and yet there's nothing rational about it.
I don't get road rage, and I don't drive bad. So my problem is all the other people driving.
Yeah, but the road rage and driving bad are not the same thing. The road rage is you could be the good driver and somebody does something to you, and then you get insanely angry about it.
I had road rage once. I had a guy do road rage against me. He got so road rage, he pulled me aside at the same time he called the cops. And the cops come over, and they're talking to me. They're like, sir, this person is accusing you of road rage. What's going on? I'm like, well, I don't know what's going on. He pulled in front of me, made me stop, and I waited, and you're here. So what's the whole freaking deal? He was like, well, sir, he said you were trying to run him over. I'm like, oh, that's it? Okay, I can fix that right now. If I'm going to run him over, sir, you won't find him in the car. You'll find him under mine. Okay, so if he's under my car, then there was such a road rage that I wanted to run him over. Since he's still in one piece in his car, I think he's the one with road rage. The cop looked at me and said, excuse me, like, if I'm going to have road rage to run over somebody, trust me, you're going to find that person under my car. I will run him over back and forth until I make sure he's dead. There's absolutely no discussion. I don't do road rage. I'm not Italian. I don't threat either. I will end you.
Oh, the Italians don't have road rage. They are the best drivers I've ever seen.
No, they do threat. That's what I mean.
No. If you drive in Italy, it's the best driving I've ever experienced. Brilliant drivers.
Second best driving.
So calm and accommodating.
They are calm. They're very accommodating, but they're not the best drivers I've seen. I've seen better, but they are really good.
Anyway.
Americans
I love driving in Italy. Sorry.
Americans are bad drivers, and depending what state you live in, they're just stupid.
We all know sentencing don't work. That was the point.
No, it does work. It all depends on the sentencing itself. Okay. Yeah, stealing a loaf of bread. That's not even a sentencing thing. You just, send a kid to community work and you're all set. We're talking about violence here. Okay. Yeah. Now, give me a mild example and give me a bad example of violence, and I'll give you two different situations of sentencing. Let's see how pretty it gets.
And somebody kills somebody for stealing his wife.
Okay. So the husband killed the lover.
Yeah.
And now he's being sentenced, right?
Yeah.
Okay. To avoid further problems, anybody that causes that kind of rage kill, not the assassination, not the lover kill, rage kill, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
They get sentenced to an island.
To what?
To an island. You ever tried to live on an island?
Hell no.
Yeah, well, he won't live that long either.
So it's basically a death sentence, unless he knows how to survive.
Yep.
Figures it out.
Survive there as long as he wants to. He's never coming out.
What do you? There's not enough islands for all the murderers in the world.
Oh, we don't need that many islands. We only need one.
Yeah. We have one. It's called
What?
We had one. It's called Australia.
Yeah, that's what I said.
No, that's too big. No, we want something smaller, like New Guinea,
Big.
and that's still big. I was thinking more like one of the small islands off Kuwait.
Well, Britain has 500 plus islands, so take your pick.
I'll pick one and start throwing them there.
Apparently, the world
they can live as long as they want to, as long as they're on that island.
But you said You said 2 examples. So what's the other example?
No, that's exempt for the bad one. Give me a mild one.
I don't know. Fucking brawl.
A brawl. Okay. So he goes to jail. He gets sentenced.
A mean word.
Yes. So he goes to jail. He gets sentenced. Then he goes to trial.
Wait,
okay.
Doesn't the trial come before the sentencing?
No, that's the whole point. The trial is just to make people happy there was a trial. He has already been sentenced.
Yeah.
You have to find a way to people avoid violence because the consequence of violence is bad.
Yeah, but you're not going to breed that out of human nature.
Oh, you have no idea what I've done with human nature.
Snuffed it out all over the world.
People say guns are dangerous, okay? Now, I've been almost gun point robbed. And the guy ended up running away, leaving his gun behind because I threatened him with a picture. So, guns are not dangerous. People are, and most of the people with guns are just stupid people. They are the psychotic ones.
Yeah, know about that, but
both people are stupid. This is true.
And then you get the psychotic stupid ones. Again, the sentences are not bad enough to people think of not doing violence because of the consequence. People do violence, what they happen? They go to trial. What happens? They get a lawyer. What happens? The lawyer fights with them. And there's a possibility he's going to get out. No. Cut that off. Get rid of it. He killed somebody. He can hire any lawyer he wants. He's going to go serve a sentence, whatever that might be, that has to deter further violence from the rest of the population.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah, because they got that stupid little thing called the human rights. But that person's a killer. They're not really human. It doesn't count.
Yeah, they are.
Listen, I say open a freaking tub of acid and throw them in. If you can swim out, you get to live. If I want them to suffer, I'll open the oil tank and throw them in. If you can survive that in an hour, you can live. They won't, but it'll be fun to watch.
I'm going to bring in another way of looking at it. And Crusader Soul, the bad guys always have the weapons, so gun bans never work. This is true.
Yep.
There's a very old song. It's from the Dog-Faced Hermans, which is a small English pub band. They're not bad. And they have one song, and it is basically a poem being sung. The rain it raineth on the rain it raineth on the just, but also on the unjust fellow. But more upon the just, because the unjust stole the just's umbrella. And that basically says it all. We can make laws as much as we want. But if we make laws to prevent the worst things from happening, we are only increasing the worst thing from happening. Because people who don't follow laws will also not follow the laws. That's not the worst thing from happening.
Nope.
So the more we talk about gun control, the more gun violence we see. Because there is no one stopping the criminals. That's not true. The police are stopping them. Yeah, but there's only so much that they can do.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, if somebody
somebody
is going to commit a murder anyway, they'll just get a gun from like the Mexican cartel. I mean, somebody's going to just murder people anyway. They'll probably just make their own gun.
Well, you can buy it on the black market.
Yeah, well, with
Yeah, get it from the black market.
No, 3D printers. You can print a one-use gun.
Yeah, that's a gun. I'm talking hand grenade. You can buy a black market hand grenade in the Netherlands for less than €20.
Dude, you can have it shipped to your fucking house.
Yep.
The problem is people do things in a rage, and you will never stop that, ever.
What?
Dude, my military friend, he found hand grenades in a dump store, the military dump store, you know. And he was like, to his buddies, like, "Hey, are those real? Holy fuck, they're real. We better get these the hell out of here." And then they had fun with it.
But that's the thing, and a criminal will always get a gun. Hell, I talked to you about a moment ago about how 5 guns got intercepted and 300 kilos of cocaine. Let's be honest, they don't intercept all of it.
Of course not.
Oh no.
A few years ago, it's like 5 years ago or something like that. I have to look it up. They estimated that the amount of drugs being stopped by the police is roughly 5%, a little less than 5% of the total drugs in the Netherlands. If this is true for drugs, then it's reasonable to assume this is the same for guns. They just got 5 guns. How many guns do we have in the Netherlands? But the legal gun owners have none.
Yeah, the legal ones, they have it like at the club and fucking stashed away into a gun safe. And
Yeah.
not in their houses usually, unless it's a collector's thing that
Yeah,
don't
I mean, okay, this is also something that I don't get about the left, because it's like when it comes to the left, they'll say that making, pots illegal doesn't work. If you ban, pots, people would just get marijuana illegally, but they don't apply the exact same logic to guns. That they'll just get guns illegally.
Yep.
I say make all of it legal. Let everybody be stoned and shoot each other.
Yeah.
If they're stoned, they won't shoot each other.
Well, then we
less likely to.
No. If you're stoned, you don't get angry. You get hungry.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Oh yeah, you do. You do get hungry and angry. I sing both.
The living example right here.
But you get angry when you're stoned.
Oh dear God! I almost bashed a guy's head in like way back when.
It got in the way of your
food. I went to smoke some weed, and then I came back.
It got in the way of your food.
And I was still
eating.
And I was still super pissed off. And if he said anything to me, I would have bashed his fucking head while being highly stoned.
But if you want to stop riding, there's another answer. Just give everybody guns. Let everybody have guns.
Well, maybe the best way to, stop violence is to just get everybody high.
Yes. Or be a friendly drunk like me and Carlos.
Yeah, because
fairness, drug abuse really is a problem. People being high doesn't make it better, as Smirker's already said.
It just makes it feel better.
No.
No, not really either.
Okay.
The problem with
like drugs, apart from beer and coffee.
Yeah, well, even with beer, it's the same thing. All drugs have the potential to make people violent.
Oh yeah, alcohol has, but you get happy drunks, you get angry drunks.
Even
and
people
sad drunks and happy drunks.
Even if you were on like a euphoric drug like MDMA, you might still end up fucking.
Instead of giving everybody drugs and guns, take out the drugs, just give them guns. Everybody has guns. Nobody's gonna shoot anybody unless they want to die too.
I have to ponder like given as a rite of passage, you would have to do like a DMT trip when your brain's fully grown.
Well, I am tempted to say that there's an increasing number of members of our society whose brain never matures.
Yeah, but that's only because I was smoking pot since I was.
No. I'm thinking of the perpetually immature victim warrior variety.
Yeah, the
Then have
people
those
who
people.
are always victims, people who get offended by where are you from, people who would smear period of blood all over their face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know that video that with that skinhead woman, and she was like, "That hat makes me feel unsafe."
Yeah.
And I thought today, he should have said, "You're a skinhead. That makes me feel unsafe." Because he was a black man and she was a skinhead.
True that. Well, I did like the video. What's her name from Honey Badger?
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
No. The last one she made, because I don't always.
You mean Alison?
Yeah.
I know all of them.
I don't follow Honey.
All of them. Brilliant.
But it was a very good video talking about the difference between the forms of feminine. Because this is true. Where women go, men follow. And this is why it's crumbling. This is why in the old days, in the Viking culture, they used to say, beware of women giving counsel.
Not the Vikings. Was that only the
for
Vikings?
women giving massage too?
I'm sorry, was that only the Vikings? Well, I'm not sure. Probably not.
It sounds like a Greek or a Roman saying, to be honest.
Yeah, it could be. I'm not saying it's the first from the Vikings. I mean, there were cultures before them, and they might have recognized the problem.
Well, we did interact far more than we understand these days. I was looking into the history of Britain as a term, and apparently it's Greek.
Mm-hmm.
So the term Britain was invented by the Greeks.
But of course, wherever a woman goes, a man will follow because we want to fuck.
That's the problem.
Exactly. That is true. It is exactly the point.
That's why I have all these male feminists as well. That'll never get, well, most likely won't get laid.
Hey, I'm up for a follow.
Don't they call that stalking, though?
Anyway, guys.
Whatever they call
I tried searching on that. I could not find a hit on Beware Women Giving Counsel.
Well, let me look if I can find it.
No, it's not stalking, Smirkers. It's called overly shadowing.
Oh, hang on. I've spelled counsel wrong.
being the silent protector.
The secret admirer.
We're horrible people, Jess.
Everyone's horrible. Come on. And everyone's not horrible. It's like we're all yin and yang, all mixed up. Just different balances. But this is a problem because there are ideologies which demonize people, and there are ideologies or belief systems which demonize beliefs. And if you demonize beliefs, you can still like people who hold those beliefs. But if you demonize people, as soon as someone has a belief you don't like, they are bad.
Yeah.
And they're the problem, those ideologies.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, I am feeling a little bit...
I don't care what... I don't want to hear what you're feeling. Sorry.
Okay, you're not going to hear it, but I am going to call it quits. I do enjoy the talk we had. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I did see a lot of people. I didn't say hi to everyone, but hi there. Toxic, Real Raven, Anja Tuck, Renovatio, Dimitri, Crusader, obviously. I'm not quite sure who else we had.
Ludicrous Leprechaun.
Ludicrous, he was the first, for fuck's sake, bad me. I did say hi, Real Raven. I think I did.
Yeah, you
and
did.
of course, I really enjoyed that Carlos once again was able to join us, and Rin was with us today. And
Yeah.
who? You? No, not you.
I was here for a change.
But yeah, you're correct, mate. It was fun to have you over again as well. And Juz and John. Okay, and John then.
and Rin, I've got to say, thank you for it not being solely a sausage fest this week.
Well, it usually is. That's true.
It's so good to have a little bit of diversity on the sexual front.
Anyway,
Thank you, John. That's really sweet of you.
anyone have any last words they want to share with the audience?
No, thank you for all coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing your opinion.
Thanks for putting up with me.
And I would like,
Thank you for putting up with me too.
and I'd like to have everyone on later to see you all next week. And this is when I'm going to press the button of stop broadcasting because fuck it, I'm tired.
Bye-bye.
Crusader, I will send you a Discord message in a moment, mate.